Hey guys, in today's how-to, I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace a front or rear washer pump for a 97-01 Jeep Cherokee. So if you go to activate your washer and you find out it's not working, more than likely it's probably that your motor is bad and it needs replacing. So in this video I'm going to be showing how to replace the motor for a 97-01 Jeep Cherokee. It's a little bit harder than the earlier Cherokees because it's located in between the inner and outer fender. So let's get started. Alright, so our washer pump is going to be located in the front driver's side fender right about here in between the inner and outer fender, and to access it what we're going to do is we're going to go up from underneath. We're going to take about half of the fender liner out and fold it over because you don't need to remove the whole entire thing, and depending on how much ground clearance you have and how much room in between here, that'll determine if you need to remove your wheel or not. Now with my situation I'll be alright, I wouldn't have to remove the wheel, but I'm going to anyway just for filming purposes. Alright, so now that we got the tire out of the way, we have more room to work. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the fender liner. You don't have to take out the whole thing, but just enough to get at the motor. So basically it's held in place by these plastic push pins. There's about 5 of them. We have to take off one right here, one there, and then one right up above here. Now they do make a plastic pin removal tool, but I happen to not have that. So if you're lucky enough, you should be able to remove it with a screwdriver. Now if you're not having any luck with the screwdriver, I found out if you have a claw hammer like this, it can sometimes be handy in getting these out. So now we're basically just going to fold this out of the way, and now we should have access to our 2 motors up in here. Alright, now you can clearly see the 2 motors here. The top one's going to be our rear washer, and the bottom one's going to be our front washer. I'm going to be changing out the rear washer, so I'm going to be taking out the top one, and basically the procedure is the same exact thing for the front washer. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is simply pull out the motor. If you have a lot of washer fluid in the reservoir, it's just all going to leak out, so make sure you have a bucket to catch that. Now to remove the top one, I'm actually going to remove the bottom one first, even though it's not broken, because I can't get enough room to undo the electrical connection. So we're just going to go ahead and remove both of them. Alright, so now I can go ahead and remove the electrical connection. And then along with that, we're going to remove the washer line, which just pulls out too. Alright, so the pump I'm going to be using to replace the old one's basically one you find at any auto parts store. It's about 20 bucks. It comes with a new gasket, and some of them come with a new wiring harness, but this rear one did not. So it should be alright because it just plugs right into the old one. So before we go ahead and put it in the new motor, we're going to go ahead and replace the gasket with the new one that came with it. So in order to do that, just take a screwdriver and you can peel it back and pull it out like that. Then you can take your new gasket and then fit it into place between the groove. Now we're going to take our new motor and put it back in just like the same way we took it out. So the electrical connection, plug it back in, and then along with the washer line. Alright, so now before we go ahead and put this back into the washer tank, we're going to go ahead and test it with the switch. Alright, so the motor works, and that means that was the problem that we're having. So now we're going to go ahead and reinstall the motors. Basically just going to push them back into place. Alright, that's it. Now all we have to do is put the fender liner back on, put on the wheel, and then we should be done. Alright, so now we can take our plastic pins, line up the holes, and push it into place. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do before we go ahead and test it out is fill the reservoir with washer fluid. Now we can go ahead and test it out. Alright guys, that's it. It was a pretty easy replacement. It didn't take too long. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned something, and we'll see you in the next how-to.